It's an On Your Mind Monday. Your chance to speak pretty much whatever has been bugging you or made you happy between Good Friday and yesterday, Easter. I already heard from someone. One of you has a heart and the other one doesn't. It's just being too politically correct sometimes about certain things like, let's make sure that everybody gets a little candy or a little toy or whatever. But be that as it may, maybe you had a great Easter, a great Easter egg hunt using plastic eggs or the real McCoys. Do they still dye eggs? You know, hard-boiled eggs, and then you put them in some type of color dye. Does that still go on? 508-996-0500 for On Your Mind Monday. Toll free 877-996-1420. And the email, it is up, it is running. Love to hear from you today. Oh, email briansbeat at WBSM.com. Brian's Beat, BRIANSBEAT at WBSM.com. Before I get into anything that's simmering on hard, I want to go back. I want to go back 40, 50 some odd years to the wonderful cartoon. I'm not sure if it was my favorite of the time, because I certainly loved the Roadrunner and the Coyote. I loved the Flintstones. I loved Scooby-Doo. I liked Top Cat. But deep down inside, I have a particular affinity with the Jetsons. Yes, the Jetsons. And many of their technological advances that they brought to us in the 60s, like the microwave oven, the large hanging television screen, dog walks, robots, and to a lesser extent they're here, but the flying car. And so I think to myself, of all of those inventions that we first saw on the Jetsons, I think, what is my least favorite? What is my most favorite of those inventions? And I always toy between, as far as the most favorite, between the robot, which I've never had, which I'd love to have, and the microwave oven. I love the big screen TV. I have one, or had one, I should say. Not one that hangs up on the wall. But those are kind of cool. The intercom system, you know, somebody ring the bell, you talk to them. The wrist, you know, all of those things, they're pretty good. But the microwave certainly has been the most convenient out of all of these little gadgets, gazmos, whatever you'd like to call them. My least favorite, I'm not quite sure that I have one. But it has always fascinated me looking at those cartoons. And when you try to see the cartoon today, it looks so out of fashion because, quite frankly, it is. When you're looking at something that's 50 years old, it's so out of date because all of these things we seem to have now. So I'm curious, what's your favorite or maybe least favorite of those Jetson era inventions? Before I go to the calls, one other thing that I'd like to bring up. A lot of people ate ham yesterday. One of the only pigs not to make it to the Easter table? Mine. My motorhome, that is. On Saturday, the Sunoco gas station on Coggeshall was charging $1.79 a gallon. I took advantage of that. Easter Sunday, I'm going from Fairhaven back over into New Bedford. The 7-Eleven at Route 6 and Alden Road. $1.99 a gallon. Really? I'm thinking to myself, I am so glad I got gas yesterday. I keep driving, and I come up to the Cumbies on Route 6, not far away from that 7-Eleven. $2.01 per gallon. What's happened? $2.01. And so I said, I'm just curious. So I haven't been down on Coggeshall, so I'm going to go back. I down Coggeshall, taking Howland and crossing into New Bedford. The 7-Eleven on Coggeshall, not far from Market Basket, their price was $1.95 a gallon. I said, you got to be kidding me. I keep going forward, and the Petromart, they're $1.89 a gallon. On Saturday, that same Petromart, which is across the street from the Sunoco, was $1.79. So it had jumped 10 cents from Saturday morning to Sunday evening, Sunday night. I look across the street over at the Sunoco. They're still at $1.79. And I'm thinking to myself, all these other stations are higher than they were previously. And it came to my thought, well, maybe the Sunoco didn't open up because it was Easter Sunday. Less than ever, gasoline prices are going back up. Now, this is only in my head. It really is only in my head. But it seems to me when the gasoline prices go up, they seem to go up quicker than they came down. Because it was only 3 weeks ago. And I have to admit, I had some Stop and Shop points, but I paid $1.49 a gallon. I think it would have cost me $1.69, but $1.49 because I had the Stop and Shop bonus points. But 3 weeks from $1.69 up to, well, the Cumbies on Route 6 in Fairhaven showing up at $2.01 a gallon. What's happened over the past few weeks? 508-996-0500. Hello. Yes. Oops. That says it all. I can't be on a Monday.
Brian's Beat, weekdays 10 to noon on New Bedford's News Talk Station, 1420 WBSM.
From Jonathan over at the school department. Just wanted to thank you for taking the time to have us on the air to help get the word out about the missing student. We are so grateful everything turned out well and can't thank the New Bedford Police Department, New Bedford Fire Department, our school staff who came out to help, and the community for getting involved and working together to find this boy. Thankfully, all is well. Have a great Easter, John Carvalho. Over at the school department. Well, it's a good thing we didn't have to drive around. Well, the high gas prices the way that they were. I'm riding with the school bus, a CERTA bus driver the other day. And as I go to get off the bus, she says to me, she goes, who should I talk to about these panhandlers, especially down at Route 140 and Route 6? I said, something wrong? She says to me, you know, I saw one of the people and he had a big wad of money. I said, well, it's business. She goes, you can't be homeless and have that kind of money. You know, and I don't know what to say, but I did point to her. I said, look, City Hall is over here, and there's actually a police station across the street just up a little way. She said, the guy must have had about $200. And I said, well, I can see that could be a pretty good catch for one day. Well, something needs to be done about it. That's what everybody says. Something needs to be done about the panhandlers. So I wrote a little something. You may have seen it at WBSM.com or on our Facebook page. When it comes to panhandlers, it may be time to institute a Plan B. We know New Bedford City Councilors continue to explore ways to get them off the streets. Since their Plan A has yet to pan out, except for the panhandlers, here's my Plan B. Number 1, make all street peddlers $4 get a permit for each day they hustle. Number 2, tax panhandlers on their income. Number 3, the city's revenue department determines an estimated minimum daily tax to keep the street peddlers from chiming they only made $1. Number 4, street peddlers soliciting for a nonprofit, a charity, a school project. They need to show some type of verifiable proof of their mission. If they do, they shall pay no tax on donations collected. You may have seen firefighters out there. Well, you know that they're collecting for some type, I forgot the association that they collect for, but you know that they're out doing that. You may see cheerleaders doing something similar for a school project, maybe the prom that's coming up. Fine. Number 5, permit fees under paragraph 4 may, at the city's discretion, later be donated to the nonprofit charity or the particular school project. Again, that's the city's discretion. Number 6, meter readers and police shall enforce the laws, rules, regulations pertaining to all street peddlers. Maybe we get the meter readers, meter maids, meter men to concentrate more on that instead of always looking at that meter that we continually go out and feed. Okay, first-time offenders caught without their permit receive a fine of not more than $75. Second-time offenders caught without their permit receive a fine of not more than $125. Third, and any subsequent offense without their permit shall result in a fine of $200 per offense, plus the loss of street peddling privileges for 6 months. In my mind, it is time to take a look at panhandling for what it really is. It is a viable way to make money. At $200 a day, do you realize that the panhandler earns more than New Bedford's median household income? How does that make you feel? 508-996-0500. That's how you get on Your Mind Monday. Hello.
I think they should have to take and verify that they're homeless.
How do you do that?
Maybe get some kind of a letter or something piece of paper signed by, say, the shelter or somebody. I don't know how you would go about it exactly.
Well, I suppose you could, but
out there that aren't homeless.
Well, that's true. That's very true, but it's a viable way to make money, whether or not you're homeless.
It's kind of fraud, isn't it? And doesn't that take away from the real homeless people? Shouldn't?
Yeah, I think you could probably make a case.
They made a donation to Market Ministries or say the other one near. I can't remember the name of it. The other soup kitchen place there. If they made donations to that money would be much better spent.
Well, except for the people that are making the money. See, first of all, you have a First Amendment right to get out there and do that.
I understand that, but you don't have a First Amendment right to take and defraud the public, do you?
Well, that's why I say tax them. Now it's a job. You can decide.
Because they caught a guy in Boston who was collecting unemployment and panhandling.
I wouldn't doubt that.
And they made him pay up back the unemployment that he got.
Sure, but you know what? My guess is they are few and far between. And this way, I think two things will happen. One, those that are out there knowingly making money will go and pull a permit. Those that can't or don't want to pay the tax on it, you're going to get them off the street. It seems to me, people, just listening to them anyway, people tell me that they want these people off the streets.
If the person really is homeless, you're just taking $20 away from them. I mean, they should be getting a free permit if they really are truly down and out. They shouldn't have to pay for the permit. But
why? They're making money. They're making bank.
I don't know if they are or not.
Well, but that's what we hear. I mean, we see wads of money.
Every time you go out and drive the cab, do you make bank every time? Probably not.
Not every time, but you have to pay the tax on it. You got to we have our own permit.
Right.
Our license, I should say. Make the homeless prove that they're homeless. Of course, then if they don't have a sign that says that I'm homeless and they're out with the tin can, then what do you do? Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, two issues real quick. That was a very comprehensive set of rules for panhandling, which I can narrow down to, number one, don't give them any money. If nobody gives them money, they won't be standing there.
True.
Yeah, that I've made a point to do ever since, my personal experience. I don't care what your problem is, I drive right by. Number two, to the egg hunt. Let's make sure everybody gets something. Why don't we have a baseball game and not keep score? Why don't we have a test and make sure everybody passes? You know, life is what life is. Some people find a good job, some people don't. Some people find Easter eggs, some people don't.
I agree.
You were right.
Look, over there, there's one.
Yeah, right.
Then they're always going to expect something to be there the next time around.
Exactly. And this is what some of the societal problems come from. Everybody expects.
Gotcha. Thank you for your call.
Have a good one.
You too. On Your Mind Monday, hello.
Well, I'm particularly sensitive to this panhandling because I was the person who had the meal thrown in the back seat. I believe I told you that story some time ago, that it was pouring rain, felt sorry for him, daughter works at Market Basket before she got out. I said, poor guy, looks like he hadn't eaten in a while, looks like he finished his coffee, so I went to McDonald's, got him a meal, and when I drove up to him, put my flashes on, he looked at me, he goes, I said, here's your meal, and he took it and he threw it in the back seat.
Wow.
He says, I only take money. I said, really? And it's a good thing I didn't hand him the coffee. So anyways.
Yeah, really?
I called the mayor's office the next day. That was a Sunday. On Monday morning, I called, never got a hold of him, got a hold of his assistant. I said, you try to feel and try to help these people out. I said, they're in for it for the money. So for a good, and you have to, I think you can relate to this, that for about 6 months, they really were kicking people out, and especially Market Basket area, because that's pretty much where it started. And then obviously the octopus on when you get over the Fairhaven Bridge and stuff, that was a popular spot. So I followed up in about 3 months, and I got the mayor's office again. I said, what's up? I said, I was the person that initially complained about this, and I thought it was total bull that, you try to help these people, and all they want is money. And he says, well, it got to be such a problem in that no matter how many times you threw the person out, there was somebody else to take a spot. And unfortunately, we don't have the manpower or the resources to deal with the problem. And I said, shame on New Bedford. And the other thing he brought up, too, is that a lot of those places where they are soliciting is state-owned property. Like Route 6 and 140, I don't think the city would have any jurisdiction. That's state-owned. You'd actually have to get the state involved.
State police to do something. Yep. I think you're right.
So it is an epidemic. It is a sad state of affairs. But you know something, though? I must say that everybody complains about the panhandlers, and I certainly would not give them the time of day. I would never, ever do that again. But we're our own worst enemy because people are still giving them money. And I'm like, what's wrong with you people? You just keep feeding the source, and it's getting more and more popular. And the most interesting one, and she's there with her boyfriend every morning, is on the bottom of Union Street. She says, I'm pregnant, which obviously you can tell that she is, and need money. And her boyfriend is on the next island, and they confer back and forth, and all of a sudden they take a break, they go for a cup of coffee, and they come back, and it's every day. That's their job. And I'm just
it is a job. That's why I say that these people need to have a permit and pay taxes on it. There will be a minimum tax. So, either they will keep on doing it or they won't do it anymore. Thank you much for your call. I do appreciate it. We continue. Hello.
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 This panhandling talk, it's no big deal as far as I'm concerned with panhandlers. Nobody's putting a gun to anybody's head to give them any money. I have given, whether they were or not, once at Christmas time near Market Basket, I put my hand out, gave them $1, and said Merry Christmas. Yesterday was Easter. I was at a set of lights on State Road. I wasn't sure if it was a guy or a girl, but I found out when she came over and smiled at me with 2 teeth missing that it was a girl. So I put my hand out with $1 and I said, Happy Easter. So I don't see the big deal. If you want to give to them, fine. If you don't talk about it.
Well, look, again, to each their own as far as giving.
Yeah.
But when they're starting to make money, more money than your median household income, there's a problem, because the person that is out there working on a regular basis is paying a tax on what they make.
Well,
these people aren't.
If you feel that way, you don't give them anything. It's up to the individual. As I said, they're not holding a gun to your head. It's up to the individual what they want to do.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Thank you much. There's a thought, and it's true. We don't have to give, and I don't. But at the same time, most of us who work pay our taxes, whether we want to or not.